Tonight, we continue our long-term investigation into childhood poverty, Cincinnati's crisis.
We've already introduced you to key people who played significant roles in a 1964 Local 12 documentary on poverty. Tonight, the story of Eddie Dean Wilson.
Then, Wilson was a 16-year-old high school dropout, living in a world of poverty. Rich Jaffe shows us Wilson's life after the filming ended.
Eddie Dean Wilson is very much a self-made man. He proudly stands on the deck of his Delhi home, knowing that he owns it free and clear, and he earned it.
I worked there since I was 13, pulling a wagon, doing the garbage route, you know, and when they tore down all the buildings in the area for the school, I would go after, you know, if they could stop their job and go in there and pick up the stuff that they didn't want, that burn off the wood for hinges and window weights and, you know, anything like that to make $1.
52 years ago in this documentary on poverty, it was a very different Eddie Wilson on TV.
This is Eddie Dean Wilson, another young man with no place to go. Like Clifford, poverty pulled him away from school, and that same poverty denies him a job that might, just might, lift him out of poverty.
At 16, Eddie dropped out of school.
Back then, I didn't have the proper clothes to wear, the proper shoes. My lunch, it was stuff from the welfare, and, you know, and it was a struggle all the time.
Sounds like it was kind of intimidating to go to school.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't have what the other kids had.
His comments now, 5 decades later, are echoes of a painful past.
There's even less work for a 16-year-old. Eddie quit school last year when he could no longer bear the jibes about his worn and mended jeans or the insulting name river trash.
This is 14th and Mansfield. It's one of the lovely rehab little neighborhoods of old Cincinnati. But before all the renovation, this is where Eddie Dean Wilson spent a lot of his younger years. And growing up poor on these streets was one of the things that helped him make the very tough decision to drop out of high school.
After living downtown, Eddie's family moved to Delhi on the same street where he bought his home.
The house was straight back that way. And they filmed me there, right there where the poles are.
Yeah.
And they talked a while, like I didn't have nothing to do, you know, which I didn't at that time.
After multiple jobs, Eddie spent 42 years working for Steelcraft. He found a couple of passions, too: Harley-Davidson motorcycles and the National Hot Rod Association. In 2001, Eddie won the NHRA's version of an Academy Award known as a Wally. He took the honors with a 1969 Camaro at 115 miles an hour. Brought up on welfare, Eddie marked some other milestones along the way as well.
I always told my parents, I said, one day I'll get you out of this, and I did.
How'd you do that?
Just by working, and the things they couldn't have and didn't have before they passed away, they had it all.
Even Eddie's interrupted education was more than his father had.
I asked my dad how far he went to school. He said, I went in the front door and out the back door.
While Eddie never went back to school, he firmly believes the road out of poverty is paved with goals and education.
It was my goal, you know, to do better, and I've done so with the help of my wife. Mm-hmm. We worked as a team, still do it.
Eddie says the government has made it too easy for people not to work and still get benefits.
It's just very important for children to go to school, to hang in there and do it. Because on down the road, it'll get worse. They'll find that out.
I bet it's a lot better now.
But it can also get better with hard work. In Delhi, Rich Jaffe, Local 12 News.
Eddie tells us that even though he's retired and on a fixed income, his wife still works at Steelcraft. They both continue to help other families and family members deal with poverty.